It's gonna be scuffed like this, but I think it's way better than it used to be when it comes to capturing these kinds of things. So let's begin with patch notes. I recorded this once already, but I think it would have been pretty bad to watch because my cursor keeps on getting stuck on the outsides of the recording, not on my end, and it looks like this. So I'm gonna do this and it should be just fine. So, movement speed increased. I don't know what they want, I don't know what they hope to observe by that. You know, they do say we will be carefully watching how this affects a lot of skill shots, but is that really the case? I think they just want to make the game faster paced. Have a faster pace. Increased cooldowns on an Uber shield and Epicenter, they decrease the cooldown reduction. I approve. That was a very strong talent, which actually punished, and it still punishes, but it doesn't. You don't benefit as much from enemies being grouped, which I think is good, because Anu was always an oppressive tank, always, at every point in the game, always. Some a nerf and a buff to ATC, I don't care. Morganis is getting a buff. No, he's still too strong. He's a backline assassin. No. Artanis, I complained about the developer comment. No meaningful information there. I just guess they want to make him more annoying 1 versus 1. And in teamfights if you don't kill him fast enough. I don't see the point of that. He can do a lot of damage with the triple attack on W if he takes that. So I don't think this is a good change. These changes on Chen, they are all... not all. Yeah, there's one nerf here. But other than that, all of this is buffs. And I have to wonder, like, recently, I played a few games against rework Chen, like 6 or 7. And he was difficult to kill enough already. Why buff him even more, especially with like slows and armor during wandering keg? Like, no. Do you even know what you're doing here? You're turning him into a brick, and we have enough bricks that are uninteractable with already. No, sod off. Not a good change. They're reworking Imperius from a bruiser slash tank to a frail bruiser slash assassin. I don't see the point behind that. They are trying to adjust some of the abilities to be like less of a risk. For example, with Celestial Swiftness, where you get some bonus, some sort of bonus, even if you don't hit any hero, which I think is good because it's very risky to try and hit it. But the rest is like they're putting a lot of emphasis on you having to stay near someone. They decrease the armor bonus from 50 to 25 and decrease its duration by almost half. And like you don't get a mobility talent which is supposed to make it all, fall together. You don't get that until level 16, so good luck making any plays and being as useful as before. Although you still probably can pull something off, but no, I don't think that's a step in the good direction. Sonya's getting a small health buff, whatever. Irel is getting buffed. I definitely think that's not a good change. Ana is like they're trying to balance it out so that the biotic grenade is not the only thing you pick, but it's still gonna be the only thing you pick. Although the slow is not bad, it can be used when winning, not really when losing, because it's not gonna achieve much. Grenade is always gonna be better, so I don't think this was anyhow meaningful. Anduin's still as useless as ever. It's only his ultimate and the leap of faith that make him somewhat okay. Rhaegar, mana cost reduction, sure. Medivh, some changes that I don't think will impact the game much, other than Dust of Disappearance, which I think could be overpowered in the fringe case where it's core versus core. And there's little stealth detection in the game already. And it's like, Base versus base, enemies are going for the event. It's like the Temple of Anubis. Their core has 40%, your has 100. You can just ignore all of them, stealth, get past the minions, and like kill the core. But I know that's a very fringe scenario. I'm just voicing my concern where I think it could prove to be outrageous and difficult to deal with. Illidan is getting all buffs. No, definitely not. He falls in the category of irremovable bricks, that once they fall in the backline you have a serious problem. Maiev is getting a measly buff. Hero still sucks. It's not reliable enough, the toolkit, unlike on other heroes like Illidan, where you point and click, and press a button, being QWE, and then here you have to interact with the enemies. You have to use W with your head, not with just your eyes. Like, oh, enemy, click. That's not how it works. With Illidan it does. With Maiev it doesn't. And Maiev got a 1% max health damage bonus on a skill nobody takes. And versus this prick, which got several buffs. No. Of course, in the category of irremovable bricks, / unfun heroes to play against, Valeera got a large number of buffs. The only good one I think is Fatal Finesse, the rest is absolute dog shit. Facility, no one ever picked that, so that's out of the question, but this is dog shit, shouldn't have happened. They increase damage on Garrote and give her extra energy regen. Everyone asks for that, I can assure you. They are adding one slight downside to playing Zeratul. I wanted to say Abathur there for a second, because just those copying Abathurs are always a problem. Where he can't use the wormhole for 1.25 seconds after he uses Blink, so that means he can't always go back whenever he wants to, he has to wait. But there's still the problem of him having too much damage, too quickly, uninteractable with. And they haven't addressed that, they even increased his damage. It's like you increase damage by 10% at one point and decrease it by 5% at another, it's still an increase. And they removed some requirements and he does extra damage like on several occasions. Like, no. Volstagg got a slight buff. I think Crippling Hammer could be an offender, but it looks like it's gonna be okay. Greymane, whatever, no one plays him. Mephisto, I said his early to mid game is a problem, and that's the case for several other heroes. And there's Furious Spark, which is an early talent. They increased that. That's good. But then they also increased Malicious Intent, which can late game, combined with Consume Souls, devastate the enemy team. And have they addressed the way that Mephisto can single-handedly devastate the enemy team if one player dares to be low on health? They haven't. It should either recast or do extra damage. Nope. Not a fix yet. No sir. Because, look at it this way. If it either recasts or does damage, you're giving the player a tactical decision. Do I want the ability to slow twice, which is incredibly powerful, and slow for a large percentage, and also do damage? And Earthquake alone was very powerful for a long while, Froze Earthquake, just because it had a slow. And if you gave it a recast, then it would slow for twice the duration, which would be crazy. And then you also give it a 10% of damage on both casts. 10% of targets missing HP as a damage. It's like, it's so fucking crazy. So either extra damage, either prolonged slow or more deadly. And it's like you combine both and then it's just, no. It's like getting to level 20 is a lot of the time just an auto win as Mephisto. It's literally press R to win. And they haven't addressed that. They decreased some of the cooldown reduction, combined it into one talent at level 13, which once again doesn't fix his early game problems where he feels like just a blow of air and he feels too insignificant to play, and then at some point he just starts outscaling everyone for some reason and just wins. Orphea got some buffs. I don't think that should be happening. You know what my opinion on Orphea is. Nerf that shit. Because once people start playing it correctly, it's gonna be crazy good. I played some as Orthia, I got her to level 8 or something, I think. And I was able to pull off triple kills, 1v3. They didn't happen that frequently, it was only like once every 4 games, but I was able to do it. And a lot of the time I stayed above 20% health. Vala is getting a buff and some spell damage bonus, it's like whatever. And then that's it. It's like, oh yeah, and something about mercs, but fuck that. It's like, I don't know. I think so long as they don't address some of the big offenders in the game, I am not gonna trust the balancing team. Where's the changes regarding Abathur being able to copy someone? Why does it still give 10% extra damage, 10% extra movement speed and ability power when Abathur copies someone? Why doesn't it instead give 10% maximum health and 10 armor? It doesn't need to be more deadly. It's just like... Some of the heroes don't even need an ultimate to be real offenders to the balance. And if you give them 10% extra damage, 10% extra ability power, and 10% movement speed, it just goes off the rails. And also, Abathur doesn't get punished for dying as the copy. Maybe if it was changed so that Abathur actually dies along with the copy when the copy dies, because he disappears when he casts the copy, so presumably he becomes the copy. But no. No. Because why have him play in a careful way? Like any other player. In ranked at least. They should just address some of the things, but they won't, because those stupid heads at the forums will keep on shelling. Oh yeah, shelling everyone who disagrees with them with arguments. Oh, you don't know what's good for the game. Get out of here. It's like, no, you don't know what's good for the game. The devs seem to be listening mostly to you when it comes to feedback. And look what's become of the game. There's several heroes that are broken. There's designs that don't fit. Like, why does D.Va's mech on cooldown have always full health? Why doesn't it have... Like, I get, you want to implement it over from Overwatch. You want to port it over. But this is a MOBA. This is not a first-person shooter when having that 600 health really matters. In here, you have to also look at balance. This is a numbers game, unlike in Overwatch where it is a numbers game as well, but it's a first-person and it's much faster paced. Like, D.Va's, what I'm trying to get to is, there's several things that I think still require fixing and they still haven't been addressed. D.Va's mech should have health equal to, like, pilot's health upon cooldown times 2 or something. You know, like, if she has 16% health when she calls down the mech, it should have 32%, etc. And nothing of that has been done. Nothing. No. Because why? That's my opinion on the patch notes, and I'll see you in a gameplay video later down the line. If you watched until the very end, which I don't think you did, unless you're an employee of Activision Blizzard, in which case, hello, please try to think of doing these changes to the heroes, like D.Va's mech having health somehow bound to the health of the pilot, doing something with Mephisto's level 20 press R to win, and the like.